Good afternoon. We're back with more Marvel Champions, and today will be the deck analysis and buying guide for the OTK Star-Lord deck from the past couple of videos. This is definitely the best deck that I've spotlighted so far, the best hero that I've spotlighted so far. The first deck and hero that I can recommend buying for very serious Marvel Champions players because he is capable of taking on any scenario in the game in expert difficulty, and that is not going to be true for very many heroes. He's going to be an S plus tier hero, and the criteria for an S plus tier hero is that they have to be able to take on Magneto, Venom Goblin, and Ronin on expert difficulty with the same deck. There are a few heroes that can get a rushdown victory against something like Ronin, but then the deck flunks out against Magneto or Venom Goblin because they all require slightly different strategies to beat. And so for a hero to be S plus tier, they have to have a deck that can beat the big three on expert difficulty with the same deck. And Star-Lord can do that, so he's going to be our first S plus hero of the Hero Spotlight series. Let's take a look at the deck. There are a lot of hero packs and a lot of different hero packs required for this one. We've got Beast coming from Cyclops, Captain Marvel from War Machine, Gamora from Drax along with Regroup, and Rocket Raccoon from Galaxy's Most Wanted, White Tiger and Kalu from Mad Titan Shadow, Welcome Aboard from Venom, Strength in Numbers from Captain America, and Rapid Response from Black Widow, along with Assess the Situation from Ant-Man. And in many of these cases, to get this deck, you would have to buy Hero Pack. Well, not many of the cases, but at least two of the cases, you have to buy an expansion or a Hero Pack that just isn't very good in order to get one card from the pack, and that would be Galaxy's Most Wanted and War Machine. In the case of Drax, you got to buy Drax just for Gamora and Regroup. Regroup is going to be a staple of leadership decks in high difficulty play. That's a very, very good card. The more I play it, the more I see how good it is. I would consider it a must-have card for a serious leadership player, unfortunately, because there's not much other reason to buy the Drax Hero Pack, and it kind of sucks to pay the $15 just to get one aspect card. Though, when I was playing a CCG like Star Wars CCG, I probably spent a lot more than that and didn't even guarantee getting the card that I wanted. So relative to other card games, I suppose it's not so bad, but Regroup is really, really good for Heroic 1 quests because if you get attacked multiple times in a round and those attacks get blocked by allies, they can all come back to the round with the same card because Regroup stays on the table as a support card. When an ally is defeated by an enemy attack, you return it to its owner's hand, and then at the end of the round you discard the card. So it can be used repeatedly, and that is very, very strong. I would consider it a must-have card. Assess the Situation is something I haven't spotlighted before, but I think that card is very good. You get +1 hand size until the end of the phase, so that really helps a combo deck like Star-Lord to build up a huge hand, which can then be used. Ideally, it's used to get multiple sliding shots in the same round. So we take advantage of the encounter card buildup more than once, which is really, really good when you're able to do that. Strength in Numbers is typically used only with one ally. It's rare to get more than one. And it's just a cycle card. It replaces itself. That's it. Now, a couple things to note that are missing from the deck. Star-Lord aficionados will note that the card Nowhere is not included in the deck. To be honest, when I was building the deck, that was simply an oversight. I didn't include Nowhere because I forgot about it. By the time that I realized that I had forgotten it, I had already defeated Ronin on expert difficulty. And then I figured, well, why fix what isn't broken? If it's not needed, well, then it's not needed. Would it make the deck better? I think That's debatable, but in some situations, yeah. Late game, like if you draw it on the final turn when you're going for an OTK, would it make it better? No. You'd probably swap out a strength in numbers for it. And would it strength in numbers isn't really that helpful a card when you're going for an OTK either. Nowhere, you need to be able to play 2 allies after you've played Nowhere, so that requires at least 1 turn after you play Nowhere, probably 2. The games just aren't that long in Star-Lord, and I think that's why I never really missed Nowhere, but if you swapped it in for strength in numbers, I wouldn't blame you at all. Though it is not needed in order to defeat all the content. And the other card that I have not included that is often included in a Star-Lord deck is Blaze of Glory. Blaze of Glory being a card that gives +2 attack and +2 thwart to all Guardian allies for the round, costs 2, and deals 1 damage to them. Or maybe it's till the end of the phase. Blaze of Glory I just don't like that much. There will probably be people watching this that would consider that kind of controversial. Clearly it's not needed in the deck, but would it improve the deck if we swapped it in for a strength in numbers? In certain situations. So if you're just playing it to get the +2 damage, you need to get like +6 out of it for it to be any good, preferably +8. 8 damage, which would mean 3 allies on the table and your hero. That's not easy to do. If you could get it out with 2 allies and a hero and get 6, it's fine. But the situation where it's going to be good just isn't that common. And I think it's, in my opinion, it's less useful than a strength in numbers. So it isn't included. I've never been that enthusiastic about Blaze of Glory. And it's not needed in this deck in order to defeat all the content. So Star-Lord definitely the best hero that we've spotlighted so far. This is a very expensive deck to build if all you have is the core set. It's going to cost $255 to acquire everything. The good news is you'll get Captain America, Black Widow, Ant-Man, Venom, Mad Titan, Shadow, and Cyclops, which are all pretty good hero packs. You get a lot of other content. It's not like you have to pay $255 and just get this deck. You get a ton of other content. Now, the Drax, the War Machine, the Wasp, you might not be that enthusiastic about getting. But in this particular deck, there aren't really that many things you can substitute without making the deck significantly worse. Arguably, strength in numbers could be substituted. That's about it. Everything else gets played pretty much every time we draw it. And it's all needed. Now, in terms of strategy for this deck, the cards that almost never get played are Jet Boots, Leader of the Guardians, Gutsy Move. I almost always throw those cards away for resources when I get them. Bad Boy usually, though from time to time I'll play it. In terms of the timing on Star-Lord's hero power, if I don't have Star-Lord's helmet out, I almost never use his discount, with the exceptions being if I have White Tiger, Nick Fury, or on turn 1 occasionally I'll use the hero power to get out Element Gun. Pretty often probably. But other than that, if I don't have Star-Lord's helmet out, I'm only using his discount for Nick Fury or White Tiger, or occasionally Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is a card I like a lot in this deck. Provides pretty good damage and very high value when used with rapid escape or rapid response. Apart from that, we're looking to grind down phase 1 of the boss, and then typically OTK or 2-turn kill phase 2, which is usually very doable. And depending on whether the phase 2 of the boss brings in encounter cards, you may want to hold up in phase 1 with like 2 health left on the boss and then push into phase 2 and then go for the OTK right away when the boss deals you a face down encounter card when they are revealed, if they do that, and a number of them do. Most notably Venom Goblin, who deals you 3 if you're playing on expert difficulty, and that's extremely helpful for an OTK on stage 3 of Venom Goblin. This deck is a lot of fun to play. I liked it a lot, and it's the first one that I would recommend for very serious players because it's the first one I've spotlighted that can take on all the content in the game on expert difficulty. So, next up we'll have Iron Man, and thank you for watching.